Alright, today we are going to be talking about the switch statement in C++, and I'm using Eclipse IDE. A switch statement is really very powerful because it helps you to avoid writing so much if-else-if statements. So we are going to demonstrate and see how it works right now. Before I continue, I'd like to remind you to subscribe to my channel by clicking on the subscribe button below this video. In that way, you encourage me to continue making these videos for you, and also you get notified when I make new lessons. And also, if you have a comment that you would like to make, please let me know in the comment box below this video as well. Alright, so how do we use switch statement? Before we start, let me write a statement that uses if statement to try to solve this problem. So let's say we have a function that takes a number and then returns the day of the week. So if you give this function 1, then it returns Monday. If it's 2, it returns Tuesday. So normally, let's start writing the function. So this function will return a string, which is the day of the week. So string get day name, right? Okay, so it takes an integer day number. So it takes an integer and returns a string, which is the day name, right? Good. So let's define a day name to be a string here, day name. So normally what we will do if we are going to use if else if, what we are going to do is to say if day number is equal to twice. That is how you do comparison. Equal to 1. If day number is equal to 1, right, then day name will be what? Will be Monday, right? So this is what you are going to do if you are using if else if. Then else, you can say else if day number equal to 2, then what are we going to do? We'll say that the day name is equal to Tuesday. So this is how we continue writing it until we write for the whole 7 days of the week, right? So this can be a pain in the neck because sometimes you may have several items to check, maybe up to really so many of them. So you keep writing if else if statements in a block, and that you can see that there's some kind of repetition: day number, day name, day number, and so on. So won't it be cool if we use a switch statement to write this so that we actually make this code faster and also look fancier to read? So let's see how we can do this using switch statement. And the good thing about switch statement is that switch statement is really very easy to understand. So let's see how it works. So the first thing you do is to just write the switch keyword. So just say switch. So switch, it means what are we trying to check? We want to check the day number. So we are going to switch to the day number so that we check what it is. So after writing the switch, normally C++ is a programming language that uses braces so much. Curly braces is used so much in C++. So at this point, day number can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So this can be called cases. We can say the case when it's 1, case when it's 2, case when it's 3. So they are called cases. So I'm going to say case 1. Case 1 is written this way, and I put a colon. So at this point, I want to now specify what will happen if the case is 1. So if case is 1, which means if day number is equal to 1, then day name will be what? Will be Monday, right? So that is how it is. Let's look at the second case, case 2. In this case, day name is equal to what? Is equal to Tuesday. I want you to appreciate how this really flows, because it's really very clear and easy to follow. So case 3, day name equals Wednesday, and then case. I'm going to explain these errors that you can see here, and then we remove them along the line. So case 4, day name equals what? Thursday. Case 5, day name equals Friday. And then I'll remain in the last two. Let's just complete it so that we know we completed it. Case 6, day name equals Saturday. And finally, case 7, day name is equal to Sunday. You could actually put these in the same line with the case statement. What I mean is, you can actually put this in the same line in this way. There is nothing that stops us from doing that. But I actually want the code to be readable and neat, right? So at this point, the code is being set up, but there is something missing. What is going to happen when we run this code is that when day name is checked and it is Monday, that is when the day number passed in is 1 is Monday, it will say day name is Monday, and then it continues to check the second one and continues. So we want a situation whereby immediately it gets the day name, it breaks out of this switch statement and just returns it. So to do that, you simply, for each of them, you just add a break statement. So that is how you solve this problem. So what it means is, when you pass in the day number, okay, checks case, is it 1? Yes, it is 1. And then day name is Monday, bam, it breaks and then returns Monday. So there is no need, when you pass in 1 and you find out the day name to be Monday, there is no need of going to check whether it's Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So that tells you how fast a switch statements can be, and also how powerful it can be. So I'm going to add break statement in all the lines. And also take note that you can actually have more than one statement executing for each case. Maybe in a different lesson, we are going to look at a more complex situation of using the switch statement. So let's go ahead to add all the break statements in this place. So this is how it really works, and it's super easy to understand and follow. So why do we have all this? Okay, I'm going to put a semicolon here. So let me see, there's an error here that says syntax error here. Okay, break and need a semicolon. So we also have some Wednesday not correctly spelled. Okay, yeah, it's trying to correct us. So now we also have one more syntax error. I'm going to take it out. What if a number is passed that is not between 1 and 7? It's going to be a problem. Let's say we have a number that is 10 passed into this code, and there is no case for 10. So that means our program is going to have some issues. So C++ makes it possible to catch any other thing that is passed in that is not included in the case. So to do that, you use the default statement. So to do that, you simply write default. So this means that there is nothing that is passed in. In this case, we can just say cout, just print out to this, so to say not a valid day number. So in this case, we are telling the user that the number that is entered is not a valid day number, right? Good. So let's test out this to see how it works. So we are going to call getDayName and give it a number. Meanwhile, okay, return day name, that is fine. All right, so I'm going to call it by saying get day name. I think that is the name of the function. Get day name. Yeah, get day name. So let's just go ahead to print out get day name cl. Let's say get day name for, let's say the day is. All right, so at this point I'm calling get day name, and let's pass it a value of 1, right? Okay, so also I'm going to use an end line so that it inserts a new line. So I've called this function and I'm passing it a day name of 1. So I'm going to run it now, and let's see the output is going to give us. So let's go ahead to click on run, and I'm going to run it as a C++ application, and just give a second. Where is this thing? I'm going to proceed, of course. Okay, so I'm going to rebuild this by just going to say projects. I'm going to say build project. This is fine, the same. Cannot open output. Okay, so let's go ahead to clean this. I'm going to select this, clean all projects, make error, run. Okay, so it's continually running something else, completely something else. So okay, so let's change the run configuration. So remove this. Going to remove this. And, right. So let's take out this. Right. So there is a problem. Say build all. Wow. Alright, I'm going to stop this tutorial here. One thing is that this code has been written correctly, and in the next tutorial we are going to then run this program. I'm going to solve this problem offline and then get back to you, and then we continue looking at some other conditional statements in C++.